Yo guys, what is up? It's Teach here, coming at you again with another video over on Ark Survival Ascended, and I wanted to talk to you guys about an interview that the devs just did. Now, it did come out a few days ago. I just needed some time to actually process what was going on in the video and think about what they actually trying to say, because there's a lot of information that you can kind of pull out of this interview. And it includes everything from ASE getting new content to all the way to premium mods. They're thinking that it's going phenomenal. And then even the release date of Ark 2 not being any time in the near future for reasons that kind of shocked me. But, you know, I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to make you listen to the interview in this video specifically, but I am going to actually talk about the major points that I saw from the video. Now, some of you are immediately going to be thinking, Teach, you're just releasing negative news because they banned you. No, just because they banned me. I still love this game. I still plan on playing this game, and I still don't plan on changing any of that in any way, shape, or form. Now, what I will say is that it's important for everyone, especially people that have a voice, to be critical of situations and be like, hey, you know, it can always be better. I love this game. I'm still going to keep playing this game, albeit on unofficial servers. But it's important to be critical and be like, hey, this is how it can be better. And when there is something wrong, to mention it. So let's get started. And if you don't mind, smash that like button, leave a comment below for the algorithm, and then consider subbing to the channel. Now, first and foremost, this is my personal opinion on this one, but ASE, there was a statement made that ASE is being thought about at getting a whole bunch of new Ark content. Now, I think that that's important to realize that I think this is a misspeak during the interview, because they have already been very clear in saying that ASE is something that they do not plan to. They've sunlit, if you want to think about it that way. Like, the sun is set, it's over. They've put it in a box 6 feet under the ground, and they have no intention of going back to it. So if you're to believe what they said in this interview, however, they're planning on bringing new content back to ASE. Now, would that be a bad thing? No, it wouldn't necessarily be, because that has 3 to 4 times the player base that ASA has is what exists on ASE, which is essentially why they're saying that, because they also want to remain relevant, because they have to follow the market, right? They need to make money in order to stay as a corporation. So other than, you know, moving on to an ASA style thing, they're talking about moving back to ASE and then releasing additional content on that aspect of things. Now, the one thing that is important to realize is that when you consider ASE as an option, it needs a lot of tender loving care. So like, if they're going to go back and release additional content for it, they're going to have to reopen it as a project and create a move to Unreal or erase the Unreal Engine. So like, that's a really hard, like that's why, like, all the reasons that I just mentioned, why I think that ASE was a misspeak. It's got to be they're talking about releasing more content for ASA and additional things that they didn't plan to release and things like that, because there's no way they're moving back into ASE, even though it's what they said and it's what the dev said. And I haven't seen them change their statement on that yet. So take that kind of for what you will. The next thing that you guys need to know from this is they're kind of delusional when they say that they're telling us as fans of Ark, right, that ASA is a game that is increasing in popularity and ASE is decreasing in popularity. Now, I guess if you want to play by the technical rule of maybe 2 people a month or something like that, that could be true. But right now, ASA has dropped significantly since startup, right? So when it released, 100,000 people were the concurrent player high, and then currently it sits right around 9,000 at any given time over the weekend and during the week. Now, it has steadily gone down. Now it will spike during major updates, right? Because Aberration will come out. It'll probably spike to like 20 or 30,000 players, and then it'll go back down after a month or 2 of Aberration being out. But it's consistently getting lower and lower for each update, because 100 at the first, they had like 48,000 when Scorched Earth released. They had like 25,000 when the Center released, and it just keeps getting lower and lower. So less and less people are playing ASA because, let's be real, 1, it's almost impossible to run ASA unless you've got a really awesome graphics card. And 2, there's not content. You only have 3 maps on ASA. Why would I buy an upgraded version of a game and only play 3 of the most boring maps in the entire game? The Center, the Island, and Scorched Earth were for the 3 maps to first release on ASE. They're the ones that released on ASA. Now, I love the Center. It's a fun map, but it's still like in my bottom 3 maps with the Center, with the Island, and Scorched Earth. So like, there's no content that exists inside of ASA right now. So no one's going to play it. Whereas ASE has everything. You don't have to pay in order to use mods. You can just get the mods and download them, and they're still there. Now there's no support for those things, but you can just trade mods out because there's tens of thousands of mods that exist inside of ASE. Now, that's something that, you know, it should be brought up, because that's probably why they've even thought about moving back into ASE, because it's still got an active player count around 30,000 people, which is what they're aiming for ASA. But people don't want to move over because there's no content, and it takes a literal, you know, UFO in order to run the game right now. I've got a 3090 Ti, and I've got a whole bunch of settings turned on to make my game have to look prettier in order to actually keep a good frame generation. Look at that. It just like spawned in, like, it's not running super well right now. They have a lot of optimization to actually do. So that's one thing to bring up for sure. Now, the next thing comes in line with, you know, what we're going to talk about. So because GPUs are something that, you know, they get more and more expensive every generation, right? So the 50 series is probably coming out in the next 6 or 7 months. And basically what they said is Ark 2 will not be released until GPUs on the market are more affordable and they are capable of running the game. Right now, a 3090 Ti, which is what I have, will cost you around like $1,000. A 40 series that they suggest, a 4700 or higher, is probably $1,000 to $1,600, depending on which one you go with. And my guess is the 50 series is going to be right around $1,500 to $2,000 when it comes out. So it's very expensive, right? And they're planning on making their game, so you have to have one of those graphics cards in order to play it. So in the interview, they said they're not going to be releasing Ark 2 anytime soon because the graphics and the hardware that exists is not capable of handling what they have made. It sounds to me like, one, they've got a good chunk of the game made and ready to go. It's just they currently do not have the ability to release it because people can't run it, which is crazy to me. Like, there's hundreds and thousands of games out there that are being released that have a beautiful graphics and incredible settings, even in survival modes like survival craft games that have amazing graphics and all these things. And they run in the lower end graphics cards just fine. So, you know, that's something that's kind of wild to me, that they're not going to be releasing Ark 2 until people have the graphics cards. And their statement is that people can't afford them because of, you know, bot farms and AI using all these things and having graphics cards being mass produced in order to keep up with those. I mean, I see, yes, that's technically true, but to me it seems like a cop-out of we're not releasing Ark 2 until people can get the graphics cards at a more reasonable level. It's like, if you have it ready, how about you think about lowering the needs for graphics cards, or optimizing it a little bit better so that way people don't need a spaceship in order to run Ark 2, or even ASA for that matter. You can see that I've got a 3090 Ti with tons of good components, and it still doesn't run super perfect, which is kind of crazy to think about. So now, the last thing that they talked about inside of the interview, and again, this is something that I'm going to back out of this so you can see what I'm talking about, is premium mods. They said that their premium mods, including the Power Rangers, is a, how do I say this? It's flawlessly, it's working perfectly, and they are super excited about all of it. Now, though I think that it's a cool addition, and I think that people that make their premium mods should have some sort of reward for it, right? I have noticed that when I have purchased premium mods, or when I have played on premium mods, most of them aren't complete. Some are barely just started, right? They're just like, hey, I'm going to update you guys as I go. I don't think you should really be able to release a premium mod unless it has some form of completion percentage. Maybe it's like 75% complete before you're allowed to make people pay for a mod that might or might not. Or maybe like there's a testing window or ability to return like Steam has. But here's some of the premium mods right here. Like, there's tons of them now. Like, they're all over the place. There's lots of maps. There's plenty of things. Some have a ton of people. Some like to create. There's a toolkit for creators being a mod for 590. There's a lot of different things on this list. And like, again, I'm fine with premium mods being a thing because people have the option to pay for it and play on their unofficial servers. But you know, it is concerning to me that I can click on some of these and they're just not complete. Some of these mods are like, they're cool ideas, but like some of this stuff, it's beautiful, right? But you log into the map and there's a lot that still hasn't been made, and there's a lot that needs to get done in order to actually complete the game. They'll give you like a lot of information on all this stuff, but I mean, I think that saying that their premium mod system is flawless, it's much worse than it was in ASE, because a lot of people just supported people that made the game through other ways, whether it was through Patreon or things like that. People supported each other for making mods through that. Now charging it, I'm glad that the makers get to make money, like 126,000 purchases times 10. That's $1.2 million. Like, good for you for that. I think I'm doing the math right on that, right? 126,000 times 10. Like, that's awesome. Good for you. I hope you're making a chunk of change off of this. But I think that's very select. I know Necatus makes some amazing mods, so I know that his are going to be amazing, but it seems to me that there's a lot of things on this list that are kind of just pushed out and aren't necessarily fully vetted, or whatever you want to say. And then that includes like the Power Rangers mod, right? So there's 901,000 purchases of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers at $10 a purchase. That's really crazy to think about, because that's $9.1 million, which is a lot. That's a lot of money. $9.1 million for something that is, that in my personal opinion, could easily move to a system like every other major game has, where you've got like a battle pass system, right? Where like League of Legends has a battle pass, Apex has a battle pass, all major, Fortnite has a battle pass. You could easily say, hey, here's $19. You purchase this battle pass with the Scorched Earth, for example, and you can get all the skins, the additionals, all that kind of stuff. And that's just the systems that people use nowadays. But this to me feels like you're kind of nickel and diming your fans, because you have to pay $10 to get the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. You have to pay $5 to get the, let's see if I can see it. Nope, it's not there. It's not going to show me. Cool. You have to get $5 to get the Pyro main, and I'm sure there's going to be other small creatures that you can purchase for a couple bucks, right? So like, instead of nickeling and diming people, say, hey, here's $10, $15 for a battle pass, and this is how you can earn it for this map, like the Scorched Earth battle pass or the Center battle pass. I think that'd be a really cool way to go about it, instead of doing it, you know, the battle pass of 3 separate maps. Then it's mostly like aimed at skins and stuff like that, and that's how people work nowadays. Instead of being like, here, this one dino you can pay us $6 for, and it's probably one of the most broken dinos in the game. Like, have a battle pass system, change how it works. I don't disagree that you're probably making a significant chunk of change on a lot of this stuff, but it's important to realize that, you know, we as fans want to play your game, but we also don't want to spend $30 to play, or $40, whatever it was, to purchase Ark Survival Evolved or Ascended, purchase the battle pass, purchase the individual tames that we now have to purchase, and then the skins and all these additional things. Like, it's becoming a very expensive trip. And I think that though it might be going flawlessly, and they're saying they're not receiving negative feedback, I know a lot of people that are having negative feedback that say a lot of the things are like, why would I do this? What is the point of this? What's this? What's that? And that includes me, right? Like, I don't really plan on purchasing the Power Rangers pack, even though there's 901,000 downloads. I'm not going to purchase it. Just, that's personal opinion. I think there's a lot of things that could be corrected, and I think that I love this game. I will continue to play this game, but I think it's important to acknowledge the fact that there's a lot of things that are wrong, and things need to be more clear, right? Ark is well known for having a terrible PR team. They don't really release information about updates. They kind of worry about like spreading through YouTubers and streamers and word of mouth when they release content or release updates. Like, they don't tell us. Most of the times, the only reason you find something out is because it's posted in their Discord. And then you're like, oh, that's really cool. And then people are going to spread it. It's not like a big thing you see on Steam, or like updates, or any like code of conduct changes, any of those things. They definitely have to work on that now. So that's personal opinion. So for any of the devs that might be watching this, I would love to, you're more than welcome to DM me. I'm trying to be as positive. I love this game. I'm going to keep playing. I'm going to keep telling people that it's a game worth playing. But I think it's also important to be critical and say, how can it be better? Not just, hey, this is wrong, let's make fun of it for being wrong. I'm telling you guys, or I'm telling everyone, this game is one of the best games that exists. It's one of the best games to ever exist. It's probably the best survival game to ever exist. It's definitely in the top 10, 15 games of all time, because of the length that it has existed, the number of people that have played it, the new ideas that have come up with, and I don't want it to go away. I don't want it to die. I want it to be fixed. So I'd be happy to sit down, talk to you guys, and just DM me, like, genuinely. I've talked to a few devs in the past, but it's been a while, and I want this game to be fixed. And I think there's a lot of ways that we can do it, and a lot of ways, instead of, you know, the negativity and stuff like that people tend to focus around Ark, that we can kind of work towards it. But I think it's important for everyone to be critical and be like, how can it be better, instead of just saying it sucks, it's terrible. Like, when people say it sucks, and it's like, okay, cool. If something sucks, tell me how to fix it, or tell me what you don't like about it, and then we can try and work on it. That's my hope. That's my true hope. But that interview is very interesting. That's all I have to say. So, saying that hardware is preventing you from releasing Ark 2 and making ASA better, I go back and forth on that. So, Anyways, hopefully this video helps you out. And if you don't mind, smash that like button, leave a comment below for the algorithm, and then consider subbing to the channel. All right, Teach. Out.